this morning, sun's a bit hazy. Checking the forecast, things looking crazy. A storm on the horizon, the pressure is low. Gotta get moving, put on a show. The news is all buzzing, state of alert, but we've got a plan, we're ready to work. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the phase. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. See a little fire or a rising flood, we're a well-oiled machine, we're running in the mud. From the city hall meetings to the rescue teams, turning worst case scenarios into hopeful dreams. We're training the people, stocking the gear, we're the team you can count on when trouble is near. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the phase. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. It's more than a job, it's a calling, you see. Prepared for the present and what's yet to be. Every second counts, we're ready to react for our communities. We're making an impact in the calls we're picking. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the phase. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. Yeah, we're picking you up, we're ready to go. EMA, let's get this show on the road.
Let's do this thing, guys. Let's do it. Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen right now, guys. We're here on the air for you 24/7 if need be. We've done it before. We'll do it again. I'm very sure we're going to do it again. But we're here for you whenever you need us. That's a fact. We're always going to be here when you need us. Now, guys, we are here on the air right now, coming to you from the Area Command, 392 miles west of Kitty Hawk Beach, North Carolina. Welcome to our show, guys. We're glad to have you here. Now, primarily, tonight's program is going to be centered on emergencies and disasters in the United States, primarily earthquakes. Primarily earthquakes, guys. Okay? That's what we're going to be centered on. Yes, in a few minutes, I'm going to show you earthquakes around the globe, but primarily tonight, I want to show you movement here in the United States. Now, I'm going to show you movement, okay? I've told you before, in California, we've had movement before. Los Angeles specifically. Fontana specifically here. This is January 12th this year. January 12th, 2026 in Fontana, California. Look what we have here. I want you to see this. This is important. Okay, look what we have here. We have all kinds of tremors, maybe hundreds, maybe 1,000 tremors here. 1.0, 1.2, 1.3. You also have minor earthquakes, And yes, you can see on this seismogram, we have 3.0 small earthquakes as well. On an average day here in Fontana, California, earlier this year, we had 3.0 earthquakes. 3.0 earthquakes. Average probably 6 a day. 6 3.0 small quakes a day. Sometimes they were a little bit larger. This happened. Okay. Now USGS has cut off these seismograms. USGS and Caltech have cut them off. We can't see them anymore. But I wanted to show you this to prove what's going on. Okay. Some of our people that watch this program now didn't watch it before this year. This is January 12th, 2026, before USGS and Caltech cut off the seismograms. Now there's nothing current because they've cut them off. They probably watch the seismograms themselves. However, they're not allowing anybody else to see the information. This happens. I'm sure it's still happening now. I'm dead sure of it. USGS doesn't want to see it because they don't want us to know what's happening. I keep showing you all this information on and on. This is the first time we've gone back to Fontana since January 12th. I want to show you this. It's important because this seismic energy continues. I'm sure of it. It didn't stop just because USGS and Caltech cut it off. Hasn't stopped at all. It's continued. I'm sure it has continued. I know it's continued. Okay? Now, I want to show you what has happened down in Southern California, down in the Imperial Valley. Okay? What's going on? Calipatria. This is a community south of the Salton Sea, on the eastern side of the Salton Sea, south of it, a community that's had anywhere from 75 to 150 earthquakes a day. Calipatria in the Imperial Valley. Yes, USGS has cut it off. But guess what? We have our ways to get this information. I'm showing you it right now. Calipatria is still having these earthquakes. No matter what USGS does, they're still showing these earthquakes. Okay? They're not showing the town of Imperial. They're not showing Westmoreland like they used to. They're not showing El Centro like they used to. But I'm telling you, the information is still happening. Earthquake movement is still happening in Southern California. For a fact. This is today in Calipatria right now. Today. The top of this seismogram was last night. Last night, guys. Okay? It's verified. Verified. They may not want to see it, want us to see it, but we have it here. There's a reason. Because I strive to give you the information you need to make decisions for your own safety. That's what we do here. We try to make sure we get information here so everybody can know what they need to do for their own safety. We talk about this all the time. Literally all the time. I don't want a point to be gotten to where we can't give you information because the agencies or the government doesn't want to give it to us. I'm going to strive to make sure you're well aware of what's going on around you. Okay? They don't want to know it. Want us to know it, we get to it some way anyway. This is Calipatria, Imperial Valley, California, south of the Salton Sea. In the center, bottom part of the Salton Sea, the southern part of the Salton Sea, we have the Salton Butte volcano. Now, the Salton Butte volcano may be responsible for some of these earthquakes, but not all of them. Not all of them at all. Look what we see here. The top of the seismograph here, the seismogram, is showing us 1:30 in the afternoon, yesterday afternoon. Look what we're seeing here, guys. By 6:30 p.m. on this seismogram. Over on the left side, you see 6:30, 6:30 p.m. California time, Pacific time. We go over to the right, about 6 minutes. Here you see a 2.6, 2.7 earthquake. However, look closely at the earthquake signature. They've cut the top and the bottom off this signature. Why? That's what they do, so they make sure nobody sees exactly how strong these earthquakes are. That's what they do. They want to make sure nobody sees these earthquakes. They want to make sure that nobody has access to what's going on. They do that all the time. I'm not willing to let them get away with it. Not at all. I want to show you this. Again, this might be a 2.6, 2.7 earthquake. I'm quite sure what it is. But the top and the bottom of this sequence was cut off. There's a reason. They don't want us to know how strong this earthquake is. I believe this was at least a 3.0 earthquake. We have 3.0 earthquakes all the time, all over the Imperial Valley. They don't want us to know what's going on. Guess what? We're going to show them that. We're going to make sure they see it. We're going to rub it in their faces. Yes, they may take this seismograph off the hit parade, so you can't know what's going on. But if I have anything to say about it, we're going to make sure you have this information. We're going to make sure you have this information. I think it's important. Okay? As you can see, there have been several earthquakes in this sequence here today where the sequence was cut off at the top and the bottom, meaning that was a stronger earthquake than they are showing us here. All throughout today. All throughout today. Look at this. Over here on the right, you see today's date. You see today's date. Okay? 4/29. What does that mean? That means that is midnight last night. Look what we see here. From about 11 p.m. last night, 2300, which is 11 p.m. last night, on this seismogram, 11 p.m. Pacific time, until 5:30 this morning. They have very few earthquakes listed here. Yes, they have some tremors here, but for the most part, they turn down the seismograph so it's not going to show anything. They do this all the time. They've done it here. They've done it elsewhere, as I've shown you throughout the weeks and months in the past. Then when they come in, they turn the seismograph back up. Then on the seismograph, it shows us these earthquakes here. Now you can see this earthquake here over on the right-hand side center here, just after 5:30 this morning. Again, they cut off the top and the bottom of this sequence. This happened approximately, I'm going to say 12:44, actually 12:41 this morning, 5:30, or actually 5:41 this morning. They cut off the top and the bottom. We have at least a 3.0, 3.5 earthquake here. 3.0, 3.5 earthquake here. Calipatria, California. Imperial Valley, California. Many of these other earthquakes are very indicative of strong earthquakes here. Stronger activity. For example, after 7 a.m. this morning on the left-hand side, you see 0700. That's 7 a.m. this morning. We go over here to the center here. You see a thin red line here. The red lines are put there by the computer to make sure the seismologist sees what they're showing here, and it gets their notice. The red line here is fairly long here. Again, I'm going to put it at 2.9, 3.0 earthquake. 2.9, 3.0 earthquake. Look at these other earthquakes as well. Especially this one down here towards the bottom of the seismogram that is after, I want to say 11:30 this morning. 11:30 this morning, you see this wider imprint here on the seismogram. This wider red line here. This would be a 2.5, 2.6 earthquake normally. But again, the bottom is cut off, possibly because the paper issue is here, where the seismic ends here, so the bottom is cut off, the top is cut off as well. 3.0 earthquake, again, 3.5 earthquake here. Again, over and over we show you this. Yes, we have plenty of tremors, 0 or 1.0, 1.9. We have quite a few 2.0 to 2.9 minor earthquakes. We have all kinds of other 3.0, 3.5 earthquakes on this particular seismogram today in the Imperial Valley at Calipatria. Unreal, guys. Unreal. This continues. It doesn't stop. This definitely doesn't stop. It moves on. Moves on like a cattle ride. Continues and continues and continues. And this particular seismogram, since 1:30 yesterday afternoon until about 1 p.m. this afternoon, 12 hours. What can we show you here? What can we show you here? All kinds of earthquake what do I want to say? Incidents here. All kinds of earthquake incidents here. Earthquakes continue to happen. No matter what the agency says, the seismic energy continues. It's always going to continue. Always and forever. Again, I want to make sure that everybody is here and recognizing what we're seeing here. I want you to know what we're seeing here. It's important. It's vitally important for everybody's safety. Now, guys, we've had 5.0, up to 5.5 large earthquake here in the Imperial Valley in the past few years. Past 2 or 3 years, we've had large earthquake activity. That earthquake activity is going to continue on and on and on. It's going to continue. What do you need to do about it? What do you need to do about it? Be aware of it. We have one member of our family here in El Centro where we've had up to 9 to 12 3.0 earthquakes in El Centro every day. Every day. Juanito's been on the chat sometimes, and he's told us what he's seen. He's told us what he's seen. It's vital, guys. It's vital. It's vital. We're going to continue to see this over and over and over. We are going to see large earthquakes in the Imperial Valley, I believe, soon. I believe soon. Everybody needs to be aware of it. These are going to happen. These are going to happen. What do we need to do? Be prepared. Be prepared. I guarantee you what's going on. Okay? These earthquakes are not stopping. USGS would have us believe nothing's going on because they're not telling us about it. But earthquake information is still being put out there. Seismic energy doesn't stop. Doesn't stop at all. Now, guys, I'm sure some of you might be tired of seeing what is going on in the Imperial Valley. I'm not going to stop showing it to you. Why? Because seismic energy is happening. Earthquakes continue happening whether they're wanting to show it to us at all. Earthquakes happen. It's going to continue over and over and over. They don't want to show them to us. We're going to find some way to show you what's going on. Everybody needs to be warned, and everybody needs to warn their neighbor as well. It's a fact. It's ongoing. Going up the eastern side of the Salton Sea. Eastern side of the Salton Sea, we have another antique town, basically, an abandoned town here called Bombay Beach. Bombay Beach used to be a spa, world-renowned spa. Now it's vacated. All that there are antique empty tubs. Empty tubs where hot water was in there, where people could bake in the hot water, literally, in the therapeutic water of the Salton Sea. Now, we have earthquakes there every day. Sometimes we have minor earthquakes, 2.0, 2.9. We have 3.0 earthquakes there all the time, upwards of 4.5 magnitude earthquakes. And on the eastern side of the Salton Sea, we have the San Andreas Fault we talked about last night. It cuts down the eastern side of the Salton Sea here. It's important to note. We're going to have a major earthquake on the San Andreas Fault, and it's going to be imminent. Could happen today, could happen tomorrow, next month, or next year, but it's going to happen. Yes, I say possibly next year, but it could happen today, later today. Just like the Cascada subduction zone, it's locked and loaded. The San Andreas Fault is also locked and loaded. As you can see here, we have some minor earthquakes, 2.0, 2.9. However, look closely at what we're showing you here right in front of us right now on the left-hand side, the seismogram. Just after 7:45 last night, over here on the left-hand side of the seismogram, guess what? This earthquake here shows the top and the bottom of this earthquake sequence cut off. This would be a 2.6, 2.7 earthquake normally, as it is. But again, the seismic sequence was cut off, so they would not show us the full magnitude of this earthquake. This earthquake lasted not 1, not 2, not 3, almost 4 minutes long. Almost 4 minutes long. Unreal. Unreal. This earthquake was at least a 3.5, 4.0 earthquake. 3.5, 4.0 earthquake here. It lasted almost 4 minutes. Almost 4 minutes. You see other earthquakes here as well. Some of these earthquakes, like the one above it, just after 6 p.m., which is 1800 hours, on the left-hand side, you see 1800, that's 6 p.m. on the left-hand side. Come over here to about 6:06 p.m. Again, this would be a 2.5, 2.6 earthquake, as it sits right now. However, the top and the bottom of this sequence was cut off as well. Probably a 3.5 earthquake here. 3.5 small earthquake. They happen. They happen all the time. Then we come down here to 11:15 last night. 11:15 last night on this blue line. Look what we're seeing here. Right before 11:15. So we go back over here to the right-hand side on the line just above it. This seismic sequence started well before the main earthquake hit. Okay? It started at approximately 11:12, 11:13, 11:14 last night. We can't see behind the other earthquake here in front of us because it's covering it up, but it happened. We had minor earthquakes turning into 3.0 earthquakes even before 11:15. Unreal. The top and the bottom of that sequence was cut off on the right-hand side. Then the seismic energy came down a bit. Minor earthquake again. 2.6, 2.7 earthquake. Then it dwindled down to tremors. Then it kicked up again. Kicked up again about 11:17 last night. 11:17 to 11:19 a.m. p.m. last night. This earthquake was probably a 3.5 earthquake. The top and the bottom of this sequence was cut off. This is probably a 3.5, 4.0 earthquake here. Okay. Then we have an aftershock here, kind of an aftershock. Seismic energy continued. We had tremors here, probably 2.0, 1.9, dwindling down to 1.0, 1.1 tremors here. It took about a minute for that to happen. That means this was at least a 3.5 earthquake, if not a 4.0. Can you see what I'm talking about? Then after 11:45 p.m. last night, 11:45 on the left-hand side was the final bottom line here right before midnight. We move over here to the right-hand side. 11:56 on the left-hand side. Starts off with tremors. Then it kicks up to at least a 2.6, 2.7 earthquake. Notice again, the top and the bottom of this sequence have been cut off. At least a 3.0, 3.5 earthquake this time. Okay? Bombay Beach. The San Andreas Fault. Look at earthquakes continuing here. After 2:30 this morning. After 3 a.m. this morning. 5:30 a.m. this morning. 8:45 a.m. this morning. About 8:50 here. 8:50. The seismic energy here that we're showing you here, 3.5, 4.0 earthquake, lasted 1, 2, 3.5 minutes. 3.5 minutes of shaking here. There's nobody living here at the Bombay Beach area, except people that are in RVs. They came to visit this area in RVs. There's only a coffee shop at Bombay Beach now. By this time at night, or in the morning, the coffee shop is closed. Probably opens about 6 or 7 a.m. in the morning. Guess what? These earthquakes continue this morning. Look what happens after, I believe it is 11:45 this morning. 11:45 on the left-hand side. We come over to 11:48 this morning. We have tremors. Within about 45 seconds, again, we have at least a 3.5 earthquake here. 3.0, 3.5 earthquake here. Unreal. Then after 12 noon, on the left-hand side, we come over on the blue line here. We have more earthquakes here. In this case, we have tremors building into 2.4, 2.5 earthquakes here. And you see these red lines here. They are computer generated. All of the red lines here are computer generated to get the attention of the seismologists. But you also see the blue lines behind it, which are the actual seismogram showing us the earthquake. At least a 2.4, 2.5 earthquake here. This lasted just over 2 minutes here. All day long this happens at Bombay Beach. All day long, and I'm sure it's still happening now. I'm sure it's still happening now. Any questions for me? Any question for me? Now, guys, I want to show you some other earthquakes in Nevada now. We got notified about earthquakes in Nevada earlier this morning. They're happening. They're happening. Let me show you something, guys. Let me show you what's been going on here. Okay, over in Alamo, Nevada area. Now, this is a volcanic area. I'm going to show you the USGS map in a few minutes, where you're going to see volcanic vents. Volcanic vents where magma came out of the volcano from different areas around Nevada years and years ago. Alamo, Nevada's had many earthquakes. Many earthquakes. Hundreds of years ago, we had lava flow here on the desert floor in Nevada. This earthquake here is a 4.4 earthquake. They said it was a 4.4 earthquake. I have reason to believe it was stronger than that. I'll show you that information in a minute. Look what we're seeing here. We're seeing what they want to show us here, a 4.4 earthquake. But what we are seeing also is 6 other aftershocks. 6 other aftershocks. Look where this earthquake hit. The northeastern side of the test range. The northeastern side of the military Nevada test and training range for the Air Force. That's where this hit. Okay? Now, I want to show you something that's important. Very important for all of us to understand. They don't want us to see what's going on here. Let me show you what's actually the truth here about that earthquake. Now, yes, they're showing this here as a 4.4 earthquake, 30 kilometers southwest of Alamo, Nevada. That's all fine and good. That's just great. We scroll down here. This is a back seismologist study page from the USGS site. So they're the one that comes up with the information here. They're ones that come up with the information here. Look at the magnitude here. They said it was a 4.4 earthquake. Here they're showing us a 4.41 with no station details reported. What a joke. They don't want to show us station details. Seismographs recording the earthquake. They only show us a 4.41. Let's keep scrolling down here. Look at this. Suddenly, this is a 4.7, not a 4.41. At least a 4.7 earthquake here. Let's keep scrolling down here. Notice there are 10 seismographs recording this earthquake. 10 seismographs recording this earthquake. Let's see what the seismographs have to tell us here. Look at this. Over on the right side, we're seeing 4.73, 4.52, 4.9, 4.9, guys. That's a lot stronger than they're telling us. 4.54. That's one edge up from what they're saying it was. Then a 4.59. How about a large 5.13 here? Large 5.13. How about a 4.98, which is basically a 5.0 earthquake? 4.68 here. 4.43 here. 5.46 here. 10 different magnitude readings here by 10 different seismographs. This one's showing a 5.46. 5.46 earthquake here, guys. What's the problem with this situation here? They're saying it was a 4.1, 4.4 earthquake. Guess what? This probably was over 4.5, possibly even as high as a 5.43 earthquake. 5.43 large earthquake. That's a lot stronger than they're showing us here. Even their own back seismologist study page is showing at least a 7.0 earthquake. At least a 4.7 earthquake here. That still is a lot stronger than they're showing it on the map, isn't it? That means the agency is lying about the magnitude, lying about the strength of the earthquake. They do this all the time. They do this all the time. The moment tensor ball shows the shaking to go in the east-west direction. East-west direction here. Northwest to southeast here. Okay? The shaking was in the direction from north or southeast or southwest to southeast here. Look at that. Also, 102 people felt this earthquake. 102 people felt this earthquake. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Let me show you something else. Okay? Please let me show you something else here. Give me a second so I bring up my device again. I had it ready here, and all of a sudden it stopped here. I'm going to show you this. This just isn't just an earthquake. This just is not just an earthquake. Let me show you what it is. Yes, it happened in a Nevada bombing range. This occurred in a Nevada bombing range. Guess what? Look at this. Look at this area. This is a volcanic area. This is volcanic area, guys. Okay. Lava flows originated from this area. Right here is one of those craters here. Look at the lava field around it. Lava field all around it. I'm going to go a little bit further to the northwest here. Another lava field. Also notice the craters here as well. Craters and cones are all through this area because there's lava flow. Lava flow. Look at the lava here. Huge lava deposit here. All throughout the region. All throughout the region. So these earthquakes occurred today, probably originated from magma down beneath the surface. Probably originated from magma down beneath the surface. Now, guys, let me show you something else here. This is that 4.41 earthquake here. 4.41 earthquake. Okay? Let me show you the depth here. 2.5 miles deep. 1 kilometer deep here. 1 kilometer deep. Okay? There is a volcano there. There is magma down beneath the surface there. Okay? Yes, they don't want to tell us that. They are not talking about that anywhere on USGS map. They're not showing it to us. Why not? Why not? As I've said before on various other occasions on this channel, there's magma racing from the southern side of the Pacific Ocean, southeastern side of the Pacific Ocean. There's a lava plume. There's a lava plume way down here in the South Pacific. This lava plume is providing lava, or actually not lava, this magma plume here, not a lava plume, but a magma plume, because the magma is that magma, that liquid magma down beneath the surface. It only becomes lava when it becomes exposed to the air. This magma here is being supplied from the deep magma plume down here, coming from the center of the earth, from the mantle of the earth, to all the volcanoes around the world. That's where it's coming from. The southeastern Pacific Ocean, way down deep inside the earth. huge magma plume supplying all the volcanoes around the world. And all the volcanoes are recharging. All the volcanoes are recharging presently. We see it happen all over the world. We've seen it happen in the Pacific Northwest. We're seeing it happen in Southern California. We're seeing it happen over in Northern California. We're seeing it happen in the Pacific Northwest. We're seeing it happen in Hawaii. Yes, Kilauea is still erupting. Kilauea goes out and comes back. It's still erupting today. All over the world, we're seeing volcanic eruptions. All around the world. They're happening. They're happening today. Now, let's go over the USGS map now. I'm going to take down our EMA banner here. I'm going to take down our webcam. Again, what we're seeing here, I pre-positioned this map so you can see it. What we are seeing here is Nevada, Alamo, Nevada. You're seeing earthquakes here. Again, they are in a lava field. They're in an open lava field. For example, this right here. Right here. You see a small crater here. Small crater where a vent of lava came out of it. Lava field all over this region. Literally all over this region up here as well. There's another several vents there. Lava all over the landscape here. It's happening. It's ongoing. It's happened before. Out here to the east here, this they say is also related to it. This is a 1.7 tremor here. This is a 1.7 tremor here. This is 27 miles south-southwest of Caliente, Nevada. I've been in Caliente myself. This is also 1.7 tremor here. Related to that same earthquake here. The very same earthquake here. Now, let's go further to the south here. Right here. Boulder City, Nevada. This is a 1.6 tremor here in Boulder City, Nevada. This is around Las Vegas, isn't it? Surely is. Just south of Las Vegas, Nevada. Over here to the northwest here. This near Diamond, Nevada, Blue Diamond, Nevada. 1.8 tremor here. Guys, just because we have these earthquakes here again, does not necessarily mean these are a result of normal earthquake faulting. Why do I say that? Again, go over here. This whole area here is lava, is a lava field. Lava field, guys. You can see it. You can see it. Down here south here, lava boulders here. Lava boulders here. I've been here. I've seen them in person. Great big huge lava boulders here came across from the hillside over here. After that area erupted. Okay? I've been here. I've been here. I've been here many times. Okay? These earthquakes happen. They happen frequently. This is 1.8 in Blue Diamond, Nevada. I showed you this. Earthquakes are happening all the time. Then we go over here to Utah, southern Utah, right here. Southern Utah here. This is Panguitch, Utah. Guess what we have here? More volcanic action beneath the surface here. More volcanic action beneath the surface here. Over in St. George to the southwest, going up in the Cedar City, Utah, volcanic action. Craters and cones all over the landscape. Literally all over the landscape. Another volcano here, guys. More and more volcanic action here. They happen. They happen. Here's Cedar City, Utah here. Look at here, what we're seeing here. Right here. We had a lava vent right here. You can see the lava coming out of the vent right here. You see vents all over the landscape here. Down here to the south right here. Volcanic craters. I've been here, I've seen them. I've studied them. Then we follow Interstate 15 here south. We come down south here to St. George, Utah. Good old St. George, Utah down here. More lava here. More lava here, guys. All over the landscape here. Down here in St. George, we're also going to see lava vents here. Lava vents. That's Hurricane, Utah. Washington, Utah. St. George, Utah here. Go out here. Yes, this is a residential area here. We go out in the countryside here. Guess what we see? Right here. At the border of Nevada and Utah here. Arizona, Utah, I should say. Arizona, Utah here. Look at here. This is an area where magma came up, did not break the surface. This is an area here where lava came up and didn't break the surface, but you see the lava here. See a plain here. All over this area we have volcanoes. We have volcanic activity. All throughout this area here we have volcanic activity. Even over here in the western southern Utah here, Enterprise, Utah, if I can find it here. There's St. George here. Out here to the west, we have Enterprise, Utah. Right here, you see the volcanic vents here. Look at that. All throughout this region, we see volcanic activity. All over here. Literally. All over this region. Now, we have that earthquake here. Cedar City, Utah. This is a 0.8 microquake here. Further here to the southwest here, Caliente, Nevada here. I'll show you that. This earthquake is not far from there, is it? Not far at all. Let's zoom out here. Okay. Again, we have that earthquake here in Panguitch, Utah. I showed you 1.7 tremor. Then we come up to the north here. Kenosha, Utah. I have friends and family that live here in Kenosha, Utah. This is just west of Interstate 15 here. Kenosha, 1.8 tremor here. This is a 1.0 tremor here. This is 0.8 microquake. What do we have here, guys? What do we have here? Guess what? We have another volcanic field here, right there. So this seismic energy just to the south could possibly be volcanic. However, where is this at? Where are these earthquakes at? Where are they at? They're on the southern end of the Wasatch Fault. They're on the southern end of the Wasatch Fault. Going north here today. And yes, for the past 2 weeks, we had earthquakes in this location. Right here, we have a 2.4. This is called Rocky Ridge, Utah. Rocky Ridge, Utah. South of Provo, Utah. Guess what? Guess what we have down here to the southeast, southwest here? The Black Rock Desert Volcano. The Black Rock Desert Volcano is right here. This earthquake again is on the central part of the Wasatch Fault. The central part of the Wasatch Fault just south of Provo, Utah. Further out here to the east, Helper, Utah. This is just a little bit different though. Yes, this is in the Wasatch Mountains. But in this case, these earthquakes in Helper, Utah are a result of coal mining going on here in Helper, Utah. Coal mining. This is a 0.8 microquake. This earthquake here is another 0.8 microquake. Why is this important? We have coal mining going on. In the past years, we've had mine collapsing going on. Corridors that they tunneled through the mountain have collapsed. That may have been what's happened here. They have not reported tunnels that collapsed at the mine, but that's a very distant, or not distant, but it's a very real possibility. Happens all the time. 2 0.8 microquakes in Helper, Utah, possibly related to the coal mining going on there. Central part of the central part of the Wasatch Fault here. Then we go north of Provo here, up into Salt Lake City. They're not showing any earthquakes in Salt Lake City at all. However, up here on the northwest side of the Salt Lake, the Great Salt Lake, the lake, this 33 miles southwest of Howell, Utah, 1.5 tremor here. This is over here on the western side of the Wasatch Fault. What have I told you about the Wasatch Fault here? What have we said about the Wasatch Fault? The Wasatch Fault starts up here in southwestern Idaho. Then it goes into northern Utah here on the eastern side of the Great Salt Lake. Continues south of Salt Lake here by Provo, Utah here. All the way down here to central Utah and even down here in southern Utah as well. So actually, Wasatch Fault ends here in central Utah here, but down here we have volcanic action causing these earthquakes here to the south. There are 7 different segments of the Wasatch Fault. 7 different segments of the Wasatch Fault. Again, it starts up here in southwestern Idaho, goes down here into Utah, south of Provo, central Utah here. 7 different segments of the Wasatch Fault. We are expecting a 6.5 to 7.5 earthquake on the Wasatch Fault any day now. Literally any day. Now, One segment could go. One segment could give us a 6.5, 7.5 earthquake, or several segments, or the entire fault could go. Imagine that. Imagine the entire fault going all at once, up and down the entire Wasatch Fault. When I moved there, I used to live there until 5 years ago, moved away. I lived in just south of Salt Lake City. I lived in Provo one time. I lived in American Fork, south of Provo. I lived in Santa, Utah, just south of Salt Lake, 30 miles south of Salt Lake. When I first moved there, lived in American Fork. I met with emergency managers all over southern Utah, all over central Utah, going into southern Idaho. Met with the emergency managers. They said, "Oh, don't worry, Ron. Max earthquake we could have would be a 6.5 earthquake." Now they changed their tune. Could be upwards of a 7.5 earthquake here. Could be a 7.5 earthquake here, anywhere along the Wasatch Fault. Wasatch Fault. But it's interesting here. Like I said, I lived here in Provo for a short time. I lived in American Fork for about 2 years. Then I lived in Sandy another 4 years, maybe 5 years. Guys, what happened? May 2019, or actually I would say March 18th, 2019. My buddy Don Patoka, that I've not seen in the chat here yet, he knows what happens here on the Wasatch Fault, especially in a town called Santa, Utah. Why do you think they call it Santa, Utah? Why do you think they call it Santa, Utah, guys? Why do you think they call it Santa, Utah? A lot of sand, loamy soil. What happens when this Wasatch Fault hits right here? Yes, guys, this is the western side of the Wasatch Fault here, just south of Salt Lake City. This is the Wasatch Fault right here. This whole section right here. I lived over here in Santa, Utah, right here. Right here. When that earthquake hits, this earth is going to shake like nothing else. I used to have a shake table, I called it. I put sand in it, I put a little bit of water in it. Not a lot, but a little bit. When we have an earthquake, the ground shakes. All the groundwater in the area is going to go up towards the surface. All that loamy soil, all that sand is going to absorb that water. We're going to have liquefaction going on. Liquefaction. When that happens, the ground here is going to turn into quicksand. The ground here, or anywhere else in California as well, Washington, Oregon as well, the ground is going to turn into quicksand. Any buildings, doesn't matter whether it's a skyscraper or a house, any buildings are going to go sink down into the quicksand. Any telephone poles are going to fall down into the quicksand as well. Maybe not just sink down, but fall down. Light poles, power poles, telephone poles, all the same. They're going to fall because the soil is going to be weakened. Any cars that are there are going to also sink into the ground. Anybody standing on the sidewalks or in their yards or sitting in the yards, they're going to sink down into the quicksand. They're going to sink down into the quicksand, guys. Fact. That's what happens when we have an earthquake like this, especially in this area. Especially in this area. When we have the 5.8 earthquake, here in Utah. Right here. Right here. Right here. 2019. March 18th, my mother's birthday, 2019. When it hit, guess what happened? The ground shook. As I've told you about Oregon and Washington, the same thing happened here in Salt Lake City. Buildings fell. Not the buildings themselves, but the facades of the building fell. Because there was unreinforced masonry here. Unreinforced masonry. The facades of the building fell. Parts of homes fell. Parts of homes fell. There was over $200 million of damage in Salt Lake City alone. Over $200 million in damage in Salt Lake City alone. Down in Sandy where I was. Down here in Sandy where I was. I'd just gotten out of bed. I put my feet on the floor. 7 o'clock in the morning, when it hit, I put my feet on the floor. Guess what happened? Guess what happened, guys? I felt 3.0, 3.5 kind of activity, small earthquake activity. The further you get away from an earthquake epicenter, the shaking gets less. The shaking gets less. That's what happened here. The shaking got less. I lived right here. I live here in this region here. I'm trying to find my house here. I'm just trying to find my old house for you. Okay. I think I got it. What you're seeing here is a Sandy Mall. They have a huge shopping center mall here. That's mall. Over here are where the houses are. I lived over here. Right there where it says trees at Little Willow. On the north side of the street right here. That's where I used to live. We felt 3.0, 3.5 earthquake shaking here. Yet the earthquake itself was way up here to the north on the south side of the Great Salt Lake right here. Right here. In a town called Magna, Utah. Magna, Utah here. 5.9 shaking here. Shook like ever. Like I said, facades of buildings and homes fell down. Unreinforced masonry here. Over $200 million of damage here in Salt Lake City alone. Unreal. When that earthquake is going to hit, can you imagine the damage that's going to occur in this area? All up and down the entire fault line? Yes, it's going to happen. It's a matter of time. We don't know. It's a matter of time. I wanted to bring that home to you because you see there's earthquakes here on the Wasatch Fault. Just like I showed you over on the Cascada Fault line, but down the entire fault line, all the way down to Southern California, even down into Mexico. The Cascada Megathrust earthquake is going to be felt all the way south to northern Mexico and all the way across the entire United States. Fact. Fact. Over here, Northern California off the coast. Again, this is the Gorda Escarpment here. This is the Gorda Escarpment. The farthest west side of the Gorda Escarpment here. Guys, here, we have a 2.9 3.0 earthquake here. Nobody felt it. It's off the coast. The ocean waters absorb the shockwaves of this just minor earthquake, small earthquake here. 2.9. If it is indeed a 2.9, that would make it a minor earthquake. We know for a fact the USGS alters earthquakes. They don't want to show us exactly what happened. This probably was at least a 3.0, maybe 3.2 earthquake here. They downgrade them to the nearest 0.9. 0.9 society is alive and well. This they're saying is a 2.9 here on the Gorda Escarpment. Also, as I said last night, this is all, this region right here in Northern California is part of the Cascadia subduction zone, the southern end of the Cascadia subduction zone region. 2.9 earthquake here. Usually over here near the triple junction, this is where we have 2.9s, 2.5s, 2.4s, 2.0 earthquakes here. Connecting to, if not at the triple junction, connecting to the San Andreas Fault right there. Connecting to the San Andreas Fault right there. Fact. Fact, guys. Fact. These earthquakes are real. These earthquakes are real. Okay? Alaska. Near Kodiak, Alaska here. Right here. We had a 4.2 earthquake here. 4.2 earthquake here earlier, okay? This happened after about 2:36 a.m. this morning. 4.2 earthquake here. This just happens to be 229 kilometers deep. 229 kilometers deep. Still, this is a moderately deep earthquake in Alaska. In Alaska, guys. On Kodiak Island here. On Kodiak Island. That is related to the Aleutian Fault to the west, east here. It's related to the Aleutian Fault because it's to the east here from Kodiak Island. Over here in the Gulf of Alaska, this is also 2.9 earthquake here. 2.9 earthquake here. Going up from the peninsula of Alaska here, Happy Valley, Alaska. This is a 3.0 small earthquake here. 3.0 earthquake here near the Cook Inlet. Near the Cook Inlet here. Why is this important? Because north of this earthquake here, we have right here Mount Redoubt volcano. Mount Redoubt volcano is right here. This earthquake at Happy Valley, probably related to Mount Redoubt volcano. 2.9, 3.0 earthquake here. Right here, San Pedro Bay, Alaska. 41 miles east-northeast of Pedro Bay. Well, guess what? Look where this earthquake is at. This is another minor volcano here. I don't remember what the volcano's name is, but right there is another volcano right there. Okay? Further south here, we have another earthquake here at the volcano. Old Ililama volcano here. Old Iliamna volcano, and we have a 0.7 microquake here. The 0.7 microquake, 23 miles deep. 23 miles deep, a shallow earthquake here at Old Iliamna volcano. Earthquakes happen. They happen frequently. Going up here into Denali National Park, near Mount McKinley, on the northern side of Mount McKinley, the northern slope of Mount McKinley here, a 2.7 earthquake here, Denali National Park. Over here off the northeastern side of Mount McKinley, 1.6 tremor here. Down here on the southern side of Denali National Park, we have a 1.8 tremor here. Only 1.8 tremor here. Now, guys, I'm going to take you further north. I want to take you on a little bit of a trip here. Just west of Fairbanks, Alaska, you can see here. West of Fairbanks, Alaska. This is a 2.1 minor earthquake here. 2.1 minor earthquake. Over here is Fairbanks. I want to talk about this because I've forgotten to talk about it till today. On Monday afternoon before I came on the air. I failed to show you a picture here. Before I came on the air, I talked to the Alaska State Troopers. I got their permission to talk about this. I had already talked about it last week. Arlette Fabian has been missing since March 22nd. On April 3rd, her family reported her missing. Arlette Fabian is 46 years old, brown eyes, black hair. Again, missing from Water Station, Fox, Alaska, March 22nd, 2026. She had a tattoo to the back side of her neck, just below her right ear. If you've seen Arlette Fabian, please notify the Alaska State Troopers Office. Please notify the Alaska State Troopers Office. It's important. It's vitally important for her safety. If you see her, notify the Alaska State Troopers at 907-241-8769. 907-241-8769. Missing from Fox, Alaska, near Fairbanks, since March 22nd. Her case number is Alaska State Troopers Office, number AK, which stands for Alaska, 260-289-30. Case number AK, 260-289-30. If you've seen her, contact the Alaska State Troopers Office at that number. Okay? I only can imagine what her family feels like. Now, when I was talking to the Alaska State Troopers Office, he said just 3 days earlier, there was at least 3 feet of snow on the ground. He said they do find bodies in the snow when the snow melts. At Fairbanks, Alaska, the snow does melt. The ground remains fairly cold, but the snow melts. He said they were hopefully going to find her after the snow melts. I will keep checking on this and update you as the conditions are present. Keep notifying you when the conditions are present. Let's go over here to Tokyo, to Japan. Off the northeastern side of Japan here, 75 miles east of Miyako, Japan, we have another 4.4 moderate earthquake aftershock. 4.4 moderate earthquake aftershock here. That's an aftershock of a 7.4 earthquake that hit here about 2 months ago. Aftershocks are continuing. Again, this is not the only earthquake to hit here in Japan, but it is the only earthquake the USGS wants to show us. They don't show us too much at all. Let's go down here further to the south here. Right here. Right here. Central Philippines. Right here, we have a 5.0 earthquake. We have a 5.0 earthquake. This happens to be 26 miles deep. 26 miles deep. Off the coast of the island here, of the Philippines. Right here. They felt this earthquake, guys. My son used to live in this city. Catalogan City, Philippines. He used to live there. This earthquake hit just off here, off the shoreline. But there's people who live here. There's villages of people who live here. They felt this earthquake. They felt this earthquake, guys. They felt this earthquake. Large earthquake here off of Central Philippines here today. Again, this is not the only earthquake that hit here, the only earthquake that USGS wants to show us here. All kinds of earthquakes, 3.0, 4.5 earthquakes hit all over the Philippines every day. USGS doesn't want to show them to us. Then we go down here into Indonesia. Look at this. 78 earthquakes hit here in Indonesia today. 78. They're not willing to show one earthquake, not at all. Most of those earthquakes are right here in the Molucca Sea. Why? Because, guys, why do you think? Why do you think? Because we had a 7.4 earthquake here. We are having all kinds of aftershocks. All kinds of aftershocks here. All kinds of aftershocks. They're still happening. They're still happening. Here in Sumatra, Indonesia, there are about 8 earthquakes here in Sumatra, Indonesia. Down here in Java, Indonesia, all kinds of earthquakes here. East of Java here, more earthquakes. More earthquakes. Papua Indonesia here, more earthquakes. Papua New Guinea here, more earthquakes. They're not showing any at all. That's a fallacy. That's a fallacy. All kinds of earthquakes here in Indonesia. They're not showing them because they don't want to. This is also one of the largest subduction, actually it is the largest subduction zone here in the world. The largest subduction zone here in the world, guys. Unreal. Unreal. They're happening. They're happening. Whether they want to show us or not, they're still happening. Guaranteed. Guaranteed, guys. They happen every day. Every doggone day. Now, I want to go back to the European map. If you want to access the same map I have, it's called my app, my earthquake app. My earthquake app. I'm going to bring up I'm going to bring up my webcam to show you these earthquakes here. I want to show you what's going on here. You have a right to know. Look at all the earthquakes here in Indonesia here. All kinds of earthquakes here. Going up into Southeast Asia. Vietnam. 3.7 earthquake here in Vietnam. Going over here to Thailand. Myanmar, Thailand area. Another 3.7 earthquake there. Going further north in Myanmar, what they call Burma. Used to be called Burma, now it's called Myanmar. Here's a 2.4. Right next to it, a 3.1. Just north of that, two more earthquakes. Two more earthquakes. A 2.8 and a 4.0. Why did these earthquakes happen? Because last October, we had a 7.4 earthquake here in Myanmar. 7.4 earthquake hit in Myanmar. Look at that earthquake fault. Look at that earthquake fault, guys. Where does it come from? Where does that earthquake fault come from? Way down here in Indonesia here. It's the edge of the tectonic plate. The edge of the tectonic plate here. Goes right up here into Thailand and further north into Burma, Myanmar region. Myanmar region. Right up here. Remember me talking about that earthquake last year when it hit October? We talked about Mandalay, Burma. That's where the most injuries and deaths happen, is in Mandalay, Burma. Why do these earthquakes hit? Because the seismic energy flows along the edge of the plate, along the edge of the plate here. That's why we're seeing so many earthquakes here. The USGS is not showing us here. Further north from Burma, this time in northeastern India here, northeastern India, 3.3 small earthquake here. Then we go further to the northeast here, at the Myanmar-India border here, 3.9, 4.0 earthquake here. Going to the northeast here, this is in the Myanmar, China border area, 4.8 moderate earthquake here. Then, let's go over here into the Alps Mountain, or not the Alps, the Himalaya Mountains here. Himalaya Mountains here, guys. Guess what? This also is the edge of the plate. The Himalaya Mountains are the edge of the plate here. On the north side of the plate, Tibet, 3.9, 4.0 earthquake there. On the plate edge here, here's a 2.6 earthquake. Going further to the west here, this is a 3.3 earthquake, small 3.3. Then I want to show you down inside India itself, on the southeastern side of India, actually central east side of India. Here's another 4.1 earthquake here. On the western side of, southwestern side of India here, here's a 2.7. But going up here into the Himalaya Mountains again, northern India, a 3.0 earthquake here, 3.0 small earthquake here. USGS is not showing anything here. Nothing. Not a thing. Up into China here, Western Zhejiang, China, 4.8 earthquake here. 4.8 earthquake here. Let's go further to the west. They're not showing us anything going on at all. This is where we have to rely on the European map. USGS not showing us anything. Here's a 3.0 earthquake here. in China. 3.0 earthquake here in China. Now we transition over to Afghanistan and Tajikistan. Afghanistan and Tajikistan. Right here. Pakistan area. 3.6 earthquake in Pakistan. Now we go over to Tajikistan and Afghanistan here. Skabun, Pinjir, Afghanistan. 3.7 earthquake here. Just to the northeast, 3.1 earthquake here. Eshkajim, Afghanistan. Then we go just barely to the northwest here. 3.7 earthquake there, right next to the other. Then we go just barely up to the north again. Here we have a 3.8 earthquake here. These are small earthquakes. Small earthquakes. Guys, what do we have here September last year? We had a 6.1 earthquake here. 6.1 earthquake here. Afghanistan. In rural Afghanistan, north of Kabul. Kabul is the capital of Afghanistan. North there, we get into a lot of hills, mountains, even caves here in the mountains. These are nomadic people that live here. Some of them live in mud huts. Some of them have made bricks out of mud and live in their mud houses. When that 6.1 earthquake happened, it leveled those homes. It leveled those mud brick homes. Unreinforced masonry, guys. Unreinforced masonry with a 6.1 strong earthquake leveled those homes. Even people in caves died. Even people who lived in caves died. The roadways are very treacherous. One-lane roadways. If a truck or vehicle was trying to come down, they had real struggle to keep both vehicles on the road and upright. They had a tough time getting people and supplies back into those back country areas of cities and towns. Had a tough time getting it. It took hours, 6 to 8 hours sometimes, to get supplies into that area. Those earthquakes made it almost impossible to do that. Those earthquakes made it almost impossible to do that. But these earthquakes came out of Indonesia. All this seismic energy I just told you about came out of Indonesia here. USGS not showing anything there at all. Not squat. Not squat. Now, guys, now I'm going to take you over to the Turkey-Syria border region. The Turkey-Syria border region. Right here. Guess what? Earthquakes. About 33 earthquakes here in the Turkey-Syria border region. These are aftershocks of a 9.0, 10.0 earthquake that happened here February 3rd, 2023. 9.0, 10.0 earthquake hit here February 3rd, 2023, 3 years ago. 3 years ago. USGS not showing any earthquakes at all. We have earthquakes there. Northern Indonesia, we have earthquakes. Not northern Indonesia, northern Turkey. Northern Turkey, we have earthquakes. I'm just going to talk about it. I just showed you those earthquakes. I'm going to talk about 2.4, 1.0, 1.8 tremor, 2.4 earthquake again, 1.5 tremor near Ankara, Turkey, right there. And just north there, Bolu, Turkey, a 1.5 tremor there. Southern Turkey, 4 earthquakes. They're not showing them here, are they? Right here, north of Cyprus, right between Turkey and Cyprus, we have a 1.8 tremor there. Just to the west of there, another 1.8 tremor there. Northwest of there, 3.1 small earthquake. And west of there, this is another 1.8 in the Mediterranean Sea here. Now, in Western Turkey, you see a lot of earthquakes. That's pretty typical. Very typical. See where it says 20 plus earthquakes there? There are about 40 earthquakes here. Why? Because, guys, we've been having swarms of earthquakes here for about a year or so. About a year or so. In that year or so, we've seen two 5.1, 5.2 earthquakes hit right here in this northwestern Turkish region. We're going to see more large earthquakes hit here in the very near future. It's a fact. It's a fact. Now over here, in the Aegean Sea here, we have magmatic action below the Aegean Sea here. 1.9, 2.0 earthquake right here. Magma down beneath the surface of the ocean. Magma down beneath the crust of the ocean here. Magma. Magma trying to force its way through the rock here. Hitting bedrock here. Trying to find a place to erupt. Now, last year, right here, we had 4.5, 4.8 earthquakes here. Right here, this island here. This is a tourist trap, guys. Tourist trap. All these islands here in the Aegean Sea belong to Greece. I showed you pictures of the hillsides here. I showed you pictures of the Catholic churches literally on terraces here of this town here. What's here in the middle part of the harbor? The center part of the harbor is the tip of the volcano, the summit of the volcano here. We had all kinds of earthquakes here. The Greek authorities evacuated this island. They evacuated this island because they thought this volcano was going to erupt. It did not erupt. Most of the residents have returned to this island, as they have returned to other islands around the Aegean Sea here. But we still have earthquakes. We still have earthquakes here. This is the 1.9, 2.0 tremor here. This is east of Thera, Greece. Thera, Greece, one of the islands here in the Aegean Sea here. Then we come over here. We told you about that 5.1 earthquake that hit south of southeastern Greece here, southeastern Greece here. We're still having earthquakes here. We are still seeing earthquakes here. Why? Because they're happening. We just got through seeing a large earthquake hit here in Greece. Over here in Greece, right here. We are still seeing aftershocks from the earthquake. This is a 2.1 earthquake here. Over here on the eastern side of Crete, Greece, a 2.8. Offshore, another 2.8. 2.0. 2.5. Now I'm going to go west-east here. West, east, and south. 2.5 there. 3.0. 2.2. Another 2.8. 3 more here. 2.4. 2.8. And 2.6 here. The one furthest from shore here is a 2.0. Further to the west, this is another 2.8 earthquake here. Aftershocks from that 5.1 earthquake that hit here earlier this week. They happen. They happen here all the time. Central Crete, Greece, a 2.8 earthquake here. They're happening. They're happening. Whether USGS wants to show it or not, they're happening. Then we go over into northern Greece. Northern Greece. We have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 earthquakes here in northern Greece. Usually we have plenty of earthquakes here in southern Greece, but not today. Northern Greece, we're having 1.2, 1.8, 2.0, 2.4. And out here to the west, this is 1.5 off of one of the islands here. And just south there, there's another 1.4 in Argostoli, Greece. Argostoli, Greece. Italy, southern Italy, Sicily, 1.5 tremor here in Sicily. Going north, 1.3. Let's go to the northwest here. 1.8. 1.8 and 1.5 here. Now guess what we have here? What do we have here, guys? Stromboli and Mount Etna are out here. Stromboli and Mount Etna are out here. Volcanoes. Both those volcanoes are moving. They are erupting right now as we speak. Then we go north into the shoe of the boot. Italy looks like a boot if you look at it. If you look at Italy, it looks like a boot like this. Down here in the shoe of the boot here, this is the 1.3 tremor here. South of this shoe, we have a 2.2 earthquake here in the Mediterranean Sea. Eastern Mediterranean here. Then we go again offshore here. Here's a 2.3 earthquake offshore here. Then we go north. We go north. We go north over to Vesuvius volcano. Vesuvius volcano and Naples. Neither the USGS map or the European map are showing any earthquakes here. They're not showing anything. Now, guys, I've told you about what's happening over here near Naples. Right there. We have another volcano right here. We talked about it last Friday. This volcano is also moving, whether they want to tell us about it or not. It's moving. Cape Filigree volcano. We're going to continue to watch this. Keep you updated on what's happening. That and Vesuvius are active volcanoes. As I told you before, all the volcanoes worldwide are recharging. That magma plume from the South Pacific Ocean is flowing through the crust of the earth over to each one of the volcanoes around the world. All the volcanoes are recharging. Recharging, guys. It's happening. Excuse me. Let me get something to drink here. North Central Italy is still moving. It's been moving for about a year and a half now. I'm going to show you these because USGS is not showing them. Look at this swarm here. We've had 2 large earthquakes because of the swarm here. These are happening. Most of these earthquakes are just tremors. just tremors. Some of them are 2.2, 2.8 earthquakes as well. Most of them are tremors like this. This is a 1.9 tremor here. North of the area, this is 0.5 microquake. Marsh, Italy. 0.5 microquake here. Going to the south here, 1.0 tremor here. Out here towards the west side, Umbria, Italy here, we have 1.4 tremor. Like I said, we have tremors, microquakes, and minor earthquakes, 2.2 earthquakes as well. This swarm is going to cause another 5.0 earthquake. When we've had swarms, we've shown you that they cause earthquakes. They cause large earthquakes. We're going to see more of that. We're going to see a lot more of it. Then we go over into northern Italy here. Romagna, Italy. 1.8 tremor here. Then we go over here into the Alps Mountains. The Alps Mountains. The northeastern side of the Alps Mountains here. The northeastern side of the Alps Mountains here. Near Slovenia. This is 1.3 tremor here in Slovenia, Europe here. Okay? Then we go over here to the northern side of the Alps Mountains. Switzerland this time. Wallenstadt, Switzerland. 1.1 tremor here. We go over here to the west. 2.0 earthquake here. North of this 2.0 earthquake, we have more earthquakes, as you can see. That is Wasatch, Switzerland. North there, France, 0.9 microquake here in France. 0.9 microquake could be a 1.0 tremor, because again, remember the USGS downgrades earthquakes. We come over here further to the east here, northeast of there. Missile in Germany. Missile in Germany, 1.0 tremor here. Further out here to the east, 1.5 near Urwil, Germany, 1.5 tremor there. They're not showing any of that, are they? They're not showing anything. Nothing. Zilch here. But over here in France, right here, northern France here, northwestern France, Bretagne, actually, let me start here. Marzan-Bretagne, France. I know I butchered that. I don't know French. This is a 2.0 earthquake here. 2.0 earthquake here. They're not showing us anything, are they? Not a thing. Not a thing. Not showing squat. Then we go down to the French-Spain border here. Go down to the French-Spain border here. We have two earthquakes here. Two earthquakes right here. One is a 2.1 earthquake here, minor earthquake. 2.1 minor earthquake right here. Now we have two almost right together. Then we go south here in Spain. All of a sudden, guess what? Guess what? 14 earthquakes. 14 earthquakes right here. Now, guys, this is a 3.6 small earthquake. 3.6 earthquake here. Further here to the west, 2.5. 2.5. Now I'm going to go west here. 2.2, 1.5 tremor, another 2.0 earthquake. Further west, 2.4, 1.6 tremor, 2.1, 1.6 tremor here. Further down here to the west, 1.9 tremor. Further south and west, 1.5, 1.6 tremor here. Okay? Unreal. Unreal. Now we are down here in southern Spain. We're down here in southern Spain. Now, 12 earthquakes there. 12 earthquakes. One more, actually two more here in southern Spain. Almazora, Spain. 1.5 tremor there. 1.5 tremor there in Almazora, Spain. And this is 1.8, Colomera, Spain here. 1.8 tremor there. Okay. Then, let's go over to Portugal. Southern Portugal here. Right here. We have a 2.1 minor earthquake here. Further south off the coast in the Azore Islands here, this is a 1.6 tremor here. Earthquakes, USGS not showing them, are they? Not at all. We go down here in the Canary Islands here. USGS not showing any earthquakes at all here. There are. Over here in the eastern Atlantic Ocean, the Canary Islands here, this is a 1.8 tremor right there. South there, this is 1.7. One more here. Guess where we're at? Guess where we're at here? Does anybody recognize this island here? Does anybody recognize this island? What is it? We had a volcano here, remember? The Cumbre Vieja volcano right here. Down here in the spine of the volcano. Right here. A vent opened up here in the volcano. For several months, it leaked. Lava all over the landscape here in southern Canary Islands here. Down here in El Remo, Canary Islands here. This is a 1.7 tremor here. 1.7 tremor here. Now guys, that's pretty much normal. That's pretty much normal. Now, I want to tell you this. Why did we have a volcano erupt here? Why did the Cumbre Vieja volcano open up here? Why? Because we had a hot spot. Remember the hot spots I told you about yesterday? We had a hot spot here back several years ago. We covered that eruption. We talked about it every day. I interviewed a couple different scientists, geologists that were here. I told you what had happened there. I showed you video from the islands here. I almost had an interview with the governor of Spain, who the governor of Spain is in charge of the Canary Islands. We almost had an interview with him. Now, is this volcano still going to erupt? I doubt it. I think the hot spot has moved. I believe that hot spot has moved, but it was there. That's what caused this volcano to erupt. Magma down beneath the surface caused this volcano to erupt. The hot spot moved up here. Magma forced its way up and erupted here. Like I said, it erupted for several months. The eruption phase has passed. It was still getting a minor microquake here, or minor tremors here, 1.7 tremor here. Yes, it could happen again, but I doubt it. I doubt in our lifetime it's going to happen again. It could, but I doubt it. I think the hot spot has moved. Okay? While the magma down beneath the surface has moved. What else is going on, guys? What else is going on? Does anybody have any questions for me? Does anybody have any questions for me? Iceland. We have no reports of earthquakes in Iceland. Not here on the USGS map or the European map as well. No earthquakes. However, guess what? Guess what? Eastern Tennessee. Eastern Tennessee right here. Northeastern Tennessee right here. The Eastern Tennessee seismic zone. This is on the southern part of the Eastern Continental Divide. The southern part of the Eastern Continental Divide. This is Philadelphia, Tennessee. 1.3 tremor here. This earthquake is 1.8. Tellico Plains, Tennessee. 1.8 tremor here. Tomorrow, I'm going to cover the pneumatic fault. I will show you other additional earthquakes here in the East Tennessee seismic zone. They happen. They happen. More earthquakes than just this. Today, on the pneumatic fault, USGS is going to show us one earthquake here. Tiptonville, Tennessee. Tiptonville, Tennessee. 1.47 tremor. 1.47 tremor here. That tremor is 7.1 miles deep. 7.1 miles deep here in Tiptonville, Tennessee. Guys, this is the eastern side of the pneumatic fault. Eastern side of the pneumatic fault. Earthquakes are happening all throughout this area as well on the eastern side of the fault. Earthquakes in Arkansas. I've shown you earthquakes all over Arkansas. I'll show you more earthquakes tomorrow. Also, up here in Missouri, all over here. Tomorrow I'm also going to show you earthquakes here in Illinois and earthquakes here in Indiana as a result of the pneumatic fault. Any questions? Any questions? Now it's very interesting. It's very interesting. USGS would show us this earthquake near Tiptonville, Tennessee. Let me show you something. Guess what? It's not actually in Tiptonville, Tennessee. They say it's 4 miles west-southwest of Tiptonville. Guess what? Let's call this Missouri. This is on the western side of the pneumatic fault. The western side of the river in Missouri, not Tennessee. Yes, they may have located it west of Tennessee, 4 miles west, but they should have located it in Missouri. They should have located it in Missouri because that's where it's at. It's in Missouri, guys. It's in Missouri. Any questions, guys? I know I've been all over the world. I spent specific time here in the United States because we had earthquakes to talk about. Earthquakes could injure any one of us. Those earthquakes in Nevada. We had 5.0 earthquakes hit Nevada there, Alamo, Nevada, just a few years ago. They could hit again. That's why we talked about it. That's why I wanted to make sure we saw that. Make sure you saw that. These earthquakes can happen again and again and again and again. Guys, be careful. Be careful out there. Know where you're at. Keep your head on a swivel. Now, I didn't talk about any weather so far tonight. Did not talk about any weather so far tonight, but over in the central part of the United States, maybe we ought to bring the USGS map back for just a minute. Let me bring it back for just a minute here. Take down our banner here. Over here in the central part of the United States, we are going to see more thunderstorms and tornadoes happen. It's that time of year. We're going to see them happen tonight. Okay? As the weather changes from hot outside, very warm outside, these systems are going to come in here and drop heavy rain, thunderstorms, and tornadoes. Guys, down in the center part of our program description, right below this video today, you see a link for Ryan Hall. Go to that link and watch his program tonight, where he's probably already on the air talking about the systems that are blowing through the central part of the United States as we speak. We had thunderstorms in Arkansas, one tornado, I believe, in Arkansas last night. We had multiple tornadoes in Missouri, going up into Illinois as well, into the southern part of Indiana and over into Ohio. That's where it's going to happen. Now, these thunderstorms may also blow into Virginia, West Virginia, and even points north. Be aware of that. Over where I live here in North Carolina, we're going to see an occasional thunderstorm, yes. Right now we have high to mid-range clouds outside right now. Yes, we do see some blue sky. Earlier today we had some rain, heavy rain. It stopped early this morning. These clouds are going to continue to come in. Be aware of that. Know your surroundings. Keep your head on a swivel, guys. We have a lot of our EMA family members here on the East Coast as well. Keep your head on a swivel. If you have family members, tell them also. Tell them to keep looking up. Tell them to tune into their weather stations to make sure they're well aware of what's going on so they can survive what's happening. These thunderstorms are not nice. The thunderstorms are not nice. The thunderstorms are going to spin into tornadoes as well. Let me show you right north and west of where I'm at right now. Let me show you north and west where I'm at. Right here. These red and orange areas here are thunderstorms. Yes, they're scattered right now. But if any one of those joins together with others, it could be a very mean night for some places. Very mean night for some places. Now, as I said, it's going to be spreading to the north tonight. Look at that. All throughout the mid part of the northern United States here. Look at these thunderstorms here. That's a pretty bad one right there. Over around Rochester, Penn, Lyons, Syracuse. Look at that. That's one heck of a bad storm there. Be aware of it, guys. Be aware of it. Yes, it could happen to you and me as well. It could happen. This storm is mostly moving east. It's not going to be necessarily moving north, but it's also in Canada as well. Ottawa, Canada. Storms are also moving east here. Be aware of it. Be safe. Be aware of it and be safe. Okay? Any questions? Any questions? Now, I've come to the end of our program. I want to share a scripture with you. I've been sharing this with you for a very long time now. One of my favorite scriptures here. one of my favorite scriptures. Over in Timothy chapter 6, verse 11 and 12. But thou, O man of God, flee these things, and follow after righteousness, godliness, faith, love, patience, and meekness. Fight the good fight of faith. Lay hold on eternal life, whereunto thou art also called, and hast professed a good profession before many witnesses. Fight the good fight. Fight off evil. Fight off evil. Have faith. Have faith. Be godly. Be righteous. One of the greatest commandments God gave us was to love each other as we love Him, as He loves the church. Have love in our lives, patience and meekness as well. Fight the good fight. Brothers and sisters, I testify that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of the living God. I know that. Christ's influence is on us all around us, every day, literally. He's around us. He surrounds us if we are willing to fight the good fight and have faith. May God be with you this night, this day, and forevermore. If anything happens tonight or tomorrow, we'll be back on the air and tell you about it as soon as the information becomes available. We will be coming on the air sometime around 4 p.m. tomorrow evening, Eastern Time, either tomorrow morning or on Friday. I'm going to do a members-only meeting. So those of you that can, join us here on the chat for a members-only meeting, either tomorrow morning or Friday morning for a members-only meeting. I think we're going to have some fun. I think either Thursday or Friday morning, we're going to have some fun. So please be here for that. May God bless you. May God be with you this day and always. May God bless you. Be with you until we meet again. We'll see you on the other side. Have a good night, everyone. Much love. See you then. Good night.
Here at Emergency Management Associates, we're dedicated and true, bringing you the essential knowledge, helping you see things through. From disaster preparedness to navigating recovery's embrace, we're here to guide you in every unpredictable time and place. We break down the complex, make it easy to grasp and absorb, sharing strategies for safety, the vital lessons you can't afford to hoard. So thank you for watching, and thank you so much for your sub. You're a key part of our growing family, a member of our knowledge club. With every like, every share, and every comment you send our way, our critical message spreads further, helping more people every single day. Together we're stronger and more prepared. That's the truth we all abide. You help us build resilience with nowhere for uncertainty to hide. Your engagement truly inspires us. Your feedback acts as a guiding light, helping us continually grow and making our channel's future bright. We're always learning, always striving to be better, bring you the most up thank you. Thank you.